Hello and welcome to Whack with Mia and Patrick. This week we are going to be exploring some new music, a cool news story again, and then we're also going to be talking about our childhood trauma, but not in the way you think. So, Patrick,
not going to get too deep.
Yeah, not too deep. Just keep listening and you'll see exactly what we mean. So, Patrick, how's your life been for the past 5 days since the last time we recorded?
I mean, it's been fine. Not too much has happened. It's been really nice and warm, so that's really nice. I almost wore shorts today. I should have because it was warm enough too.
I wore shorts the other day because it was so nice. Well, because we went from having like negative 30-degree weather to having 40 degrees, and that's a big difference.
Is there still snow?
No, it's all gone, but luckily we didn't flood, so that's good. But the river seems kind of high.
Yeah,
so hopefully nothing happens.
I didn't do too much over the weekend though. I did have my interview with that one YouTuber, Internet Jules. It was so cool. It was very weird to see her because I'm used to seeing her on my computer. She's also a lot shorter in real life, and so I was this is surreal.
If I were ever to meet a YouTuber I watched in real life, it would just be weird because it's wow, there's usually a screen between us, but now there's nothing.
Yeah, it was really cool. She did a really good job. I got it filmed and recorded, so I gotta get it out there, but I have to order I have a MacBook Pro, and it's one of those ones where it doesn't have a USB or SD card or anything. You have to buy ports for that. So I have to go and order a port so I can get the SD card and all this stuff. And so look forward to that on my YouTube channel on the noise.
Yeah, we will. We'll put a link of it somewhere whenever.
Yes.
We're ready to watch.
Other than that, that was on Saturday, and then on Monday is my usual time for my radio show, and I did artists from YouTube, and last week we talked about I did songs from artists from YouTube.
Nice.
And I was oh yeah, I can include YouTuber music, but then I realized I don't listen to any YouTubers' music because most of it's trash.
Yeah. I mean, you could have put some Justin Bieber on there because that's how he got big.
I did. Yeah, that's what I did. So I just did basically people who got famous from YouTube, not people who were already famous and then decided to start music.
Yeah. Did you put any Christina Grimmie on there? Do you remember when that whole thing happened?
I do remember that happening. I never listened to her. I had never heard of her until she died.
I had heard of her back way back in the day, whenever YouTube was really new to me, and I had seen her videos before, but I hadn't really thought about her until that horrible thing happened. That was so sad. That literally rocked I hate to say the YouTube community, but it really did. It shocked everyone.
I remember texting you about it whenever it happened, and I remember you being I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, I know. I was so I mean even it's you just think that these people are invincible, but there's crazy people out there. It was really tragic. But
yeah,
on a brighter note.
But yeah, I also include some Dodie from if you listen to our first episode, we talked about her
for a long time.
yes, I apologize. I will not talk as much today about music. Also, it was Mia's turn for the music, but I promise next week I won't talk as much either. So that was my week. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't really do much this weekend, but me and my friends did go to a ramen bar that was on campus, and it's really good. I've been there I feel I've been there 6 times this entire year, which is a lot actually. So, we did that. I watched some movies. I watched Meet the Robinsons for the first time in literally years. I cried my eyes out for some reason. It was such a good movie. I looked on Rotten Tomatoes afterwards, and it has a 65%. It is better than a 65%. The whole ending with the Little Wonders song. I forget the guy's name, but that song really it really got me, and I started bawling after 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that. But
yeah,
I liked
it. Yeah, no, I love it, and I also watched Mid-90s for the first time the other night, and it was really good. It was that the Jonah Hill directed and wrote.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And for his first time writing and directing, I was really impressed. There were some things that I would have probably done differently, but also I'm not a filmmaker. Like, I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the story was it wasn't even like, it was like a slice of life film, which is like kind of what I like a character study, which is the kind of thing I'm into. And it was just it was really, really cool, like watching this like kid like go from this to this after becoming friends with these people and like wanting to pursue like skateboarding, and like it's a really good movie. And like the aesthetic of it is like it's not shot in the same like aspect ratio as like normal films. It's like on I forget what it is, but it was really good. So highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's only like an hour and a half. It was a quick watch, but it was good. The ending was nice. I liked it. So that's pretty much what I did for the past 5 days.
So do we want to move into our segments?
Yes, let's do some When Pigs Fly.
Okay. So if you're new here, When Pigs Fly is basically just weird news stories that Mia or I find for the week. And I literally went to the like weird news segment or weird news category in HuffPost.
Oh, yes.
This one. Have you ever seen the movie Trolls?
Yes.
I love that movie, first of all. It is actually a great movie. Just like so much color and singing. I love it. Yeah. And so apparently in Florida, of course.
Yeah. Are we surprised?
I was actually looking for Florida stories. I couldn't find any, surprisingly. But then I found one. So at Universal, they have the main characters, Poppy and whatever his name is, walking around. And so that's normal, whatever. And then they have Guy Diamond walking around. And if you've ever seen the movie, Guy Diamond is a naked troll that farts out glitter.
Oh my God.
And so they decided to make this troll literally like fart glitter. Like there's a hole in like his butt on the costume.
No.
And like when he shakes it enough, like glitter pops out. And there's a video of it. Honestly though, I was like, it was like kind of anticlimactic. Like not that much glitter came out. I was like kind of expecting more, but whatever. But there's literally a picture of the guy, like of a guy cleaning up butt glitter.
Oh my God. Could you imagine being like the actor inside of like...
I know. Okay, no. Okay, so I'm going to read some funny tweets from it. Someone was like, oh, you'll love this one. Imagine getting a BFA in musical theater to fart glitter.
Oh my God. That's so true though. Like I like can't even imagine like my friends who are BFA actors, like imagine like they're getting like, it's like, oh my God, guys, like I got a job at Universal Studios, like it's gonna be great. And then they're like, yeah, like that's your costume over there. And by the way, like it farts glitter.
And I hate the troll that farts glitter, but I appreciate Universal for making me feel something again.
That's like, have you ever seen the thing where it's like Disney Parades has like not like a live, but like a mechanical fire breathing dragon, like Universal Parades. Remember the movie Hop? And it's just like the guy in the bunny costume on a set of drums. Like that's so true. It's so Universal.
Yeah, so I just thought that was like really weird, but like I'd be down to see it. I
wonder if the glitter fart smells. Like, do you think they made it like smell like unicorns or like candy or something?
I don't think so, because like it's like it's really not that much. Like you just sort of see it like
imagine
and it
like
goes on the ground.
Imagine like a 2-year-old like walking up to him and like he doesn't see it coming and then he like activates the fart and just squirts glitter all over the kid's face. Oh my God. Like imagine telling that story to that same kid like 8 years later and being like, yeah, we took you to Universal when you were like 2 and you got glitter all over you, boy.
Wow.
Oh, it's good. But like honestly, you're right. Like I do kind of want to see it now, even though you said it's anticlimactic. Like
yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. I feel like honestly, I feel like it's secretly like Kesha hidden in that costume or something. Like that's.
What was the music video where they're like the unicorns like all killing each other? It was the song that they played in Victorious, "Blow." That's like
yeah.
And it's I forget who's in it. It was like some celebrity guy.
I've never seen the video for that.
Oh my God, it's so weird. But like Kesha's.
I remember when that was on Victorious, and I was like, interesting choice for an artist for a kid show.
You know, Kesha opened up like the voting like little thing that they do in Pittsburgh, like the day before like everyone votes. Like she came and had like a concert, like telling people like go vote, like election
really?
day. Yeah, she opened up election day.
Interesting. Also, why in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
She's not from there.
Yeah, very odd. But I
Interesting.
mean, I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So want to move on to our Let's Groove segment?
Yes, I would love to. Okay, for those of you listening who didn't listen to our last show, we're gonna have a segment every week called Let's Groove, where we're gonna be talking about like any artists we're listening to recently, like newer artists, like even local artists which by the way I'm about to talk about. Well, we're just going to be talking about like new music or any music we've been listening to. So before I get into my main guy, Jeremy Zucker, I want to plug my two friends, John and Grayson. They have a little band group called Carnival Room, and they just released a song called Telepathy. It's really good. They're both super creative guys. Like they do it all on their own. They produce it all. They mix it all. It's all really good music. They also have another EP called Drama Queen. It's all on Bandcamp, and I'm gonna leave that in the description of the podcast so that you guys can all check it out. But it's very like experimental, like psychedelic almost. Like it's all really good. I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
so,
I actually enjoy it. I remember when they released Drama Queen, and I like listened to it, and I was like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's super good. So if that sounds interesting to you, please go check it out. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And hi guys, if you're listening. But now on to the main topic of Let's Groove this week. I'm going to be talking about Jeremy Zucker's EP Summer. And I'm actually not going to go into too much about the analysis of the EP, but more about Jeremy himself, because I just think he's really interesting and he has a cool kind of story. So Jeremy Zucker is 22 years old, and he was born in New Jersey, like a small town in New Jersey. I forget the name of it, but he writes and produces all of his own music, and I think he started in college, is what it said. He started when he was a kid because he was listening to Blink-182, and he was like, I want to be like this angsty emo kid who like makes all this music. So he started writing songs when he was like a child, and so. He went to college in Colorado, I believe, and he actually got his degree. And I want you to guess what he got his degree in.
I'm guessing it's something not related to music.
It'll really surprise you, I think.
I don't know, sociology or something.
No, he got a degree in molecular biology with a pre-med track. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And he just graduated this past year, and that's kind of where the inspiration for this EP came from, because it's, if you listen to, like, did you listen to it and like you got very like lonely, like it's all about like being alone basically.
Yes,
the album.
Yeah.
See, It's not actually about loneliness itself, he says. It's about being alone in your young adulthood for like the first time, which I thought is like kind of a cool little like theme to have for an album, because like so much music like is all about like either like happy or sad music. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was cool that it was the reason it's called Summer is because it's like now he has an endless summer now that he's out of college, and that he's all on his own for like the first time. So I thought that was a cool like thing to write a EP about. But what were your thoughts on it when you were listening to it?
Yeah, I thought, overall, like just a really like chill, cool vibe. Definitely like a perfect title. Summer, like it is something you would listen to, like just like cruising around with the windows rolled down.
Totally.
And I thought, did you listen to it on Spotify?
I listened to it on Apple Music, but
okay. So have you ever listened to a song on Spotify and it will play a little video?
Oh, yeah.
So for every single one of his songs on Spotify, he had a little like mini video for it, which I thought was really cool, because I've seen it with certain songs before, usually singles, but I've never seen someone do it with their entire album or EP. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, it's nothing like special. It's like a few shots, but it's still pretty cool. Like
it like adds depth. Different. I feel like I'm gonna have to check that out on Spotify.
Yeah, for sure. And you only have to listen to like a few seconds of each song to watch the whole video. Mm-hmm. But I just want to talk about one song that was my favorite, the opening, "Come Through."
Oh, "Come Through." Oh yeah, that's my favorite too.
Yeah, I just absolutely love this one. And like honestly, like when I listened to it, I was like, I was like, Mia like knew like your third eye was open, because literally this is about me. Like I had to like text my friend last night, and like I like called her, or I was like, I'm gonna need to call you today because like there's some stuff going on. And I met up with her at Wendy's. Shout out to you, Emily. Thank you for meeting with me. And just like, everyone just needs that friend who they can talk to about anything.
Yeah.
Just like not be alone in your thoughts or anything like that. So I just like really appreciate that song, because I was like, it's so true, but it's also like so hard to talk to someone because you feel like a burden, but like you don't. But it's like, no, like you can find someone, and it's good to have friends who can do that for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was my overall thoughts.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I just enjoy the sound of the songs. Like I was listening to some of his other music too, and it's all very it's like I actually have a quote from what I'm about to talk about, but it all of his music combines aspects of like pop and indie and like electronic music, which I like all of those. So he's like right for me, but he doesn't like the idea of having like a genre. And he said in an interview, "I don't like the idea of genre, and that sounds so cliche to say. My point is that there's no real boundaries between genres. The categories themselves don't even really exist. You can say something is indie pop, but like what exactly makes it indie pop?" Which like I agree with, because so many times like I'm trying to find music, like new music that I like, and like I hate putting myself into one category of what I like, because I just feel like I like so many different elements of different things, and that's why I think I really like his music. Because like I enjoy pop music, I enjoy indie music and electronic like music too. And there was even a part in oh gosh, I wrote it down. Where did I put it? Oh, I don't remember. But in one of the songs where like the tone completely shifts and it feels like really rockish for a second. Like, do you know which one? I think it was the fourth track. Give me one second. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's like I can definitely see where he's coming from with not wanting to have an exact genre for him to put himself in, because then I feel like that would limit what he's able to do. And like he even said like he is very passionate about his music and like how he makes it. And he said in another interview that he started on GarageBand and he had to start getting really experimental with it. And he's so happy that he started out on such a small software, which like I relate to because I like making music on GarageBand too. And that he would have been overwhelmed like in a studio setting where there's just so much like expensive equipment and like so much stuff. And now he uses what he knows from GarageBand and gets new softwares and builds upon it with just what he knows, which I really appreciate. Someone who's so into their own music and so wants to make a good song. So yeah. And just the fact that he produces it all and he's only like 20 and got a degree in molecular biology is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he knows he'll have a fallback, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much all I have on it. But yeah, I'll also leave a link to that in the description. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, on pretty much everything.
Cool.
So, do you want to jump into our main topic?
Oh, I'm so ready.
I am so ready. Okay, before we talk about what we're going to talk about, I love talking about this because it's so funny to look back on yourself and like scan your subconscious memory, because what we're going to be talking about is TV shows, movies, books, pretty much anything that's not meant to be scary, but scared us as kids. And there was just so many things that like I can think back to like automatically, but I actually texted my mom and dad and they even told me things that I didn't remember until they had told me. So let's just trade back and forth. Like tell me something that scared you as a child that shouldn't have.
Okay, this is the big one. Like this has never left my head. Like a lot of these I had to like go and find in my deep memories. But this one I always remember when I was little. I think the SpongeBob episode where he's staying indoors because he doesn't ever want to get hurt, and then Patrick dresses up like a gorilla and Sandy's like, oh no, a gorilla's attacking me, and then SpongeBob's like, I'm not gonna fall for it, and then it turns out like they unzip like Patrick like unzips his like bodysuit and it's not actually Patrick. It's some like they recorded some actual actor in an actual gorilla suit. And then there's like some weird zebra guy too. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's a really weird episode.
Yeah.
Because I know
strange.
exactly which one you're talking about.
Take it away, Penny. But I remember watching that and it just freaked me out. I don't know what it was about it, like the fact that the gorilla could talk, or like his eyes look really weird in the mask. Like you can really see his eyes, and it just like freaked me out as a kid. And I like ever since, I hate like gorilla suits. I don't like people like dressing up like them. I went to a haunted house once and there was like a guy in a gorilla suit and he like kept reaching for us, and then he was like in a cage but it could turn, but after we got out of that room I thought it was over, but then he could like come out of the cage because it was like rubber bars or something.
Coming out of my cage and I'm doing justice.
And then he like started grabbing us. I was like, I can't. I was like, no. I was like, this is not happening. So yeah, the gorilla scene in SpongeBob is like the big childhood trauma.
Do you remember when me, you, and Izzy went to the Halloween store and there was a gorilla suit and I showed it to you knowing that you were scared of it? Like, I was so mean. Like, what is wrong with me?
I don't know. I remember us going to Target and it was like some girl like dressed up like it, and then you yelled like across Target like "Rip Harambe."
Oh my god!
She was like dancing around.
Yeah, no, that's in like the back of Target where they have all like the Halloween costumes. Yeah, it wasn't the Halloween store. It was Target. Yeah. Oh my gosh, good times, honestly.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I actually have I have a SpongeBob one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I have a couple SpongeBob.
I was looking back at old SpongeBob episodes, and some of them are a little, like, they do cross the line a little bit. Like, this scared me so bad. Like, I remember vividly being like 5 or 6 in my parents' bedroom, and they had a TV in their room, so I would always watch TV in there. Mm-hmm. And there was an episode where me and my dad were watching it. It's the one where they're whispering into the bubbles, and like then Squidward like, you know, makes them hate each other for a hot sec. And then there's one part where they're yelling at each other in Squidward's front yard, and he's sitting there eating this piece of cake, and he swallows the fork by accident and starts choking on it, and it gets stuck in his. And I just remember like the most horrible noise, like that. It's like a gung, gung, like 5 times in a row, and it scared me so bad. Like my dad, like I remember him being like, "Mia, like it's fine," and I was like, "No, it's not," and that just scared me so bad. I don't even know why, but like that is like kind of disturbing for like a young child to be watching, because like I was so scared of like choking when I was a kid. Like I was like, I'm not like.
I was never scared of that. So
no, I think I was more of an anxious little kid than I thought I was, because like. I remember one time I thought I forgot how to breathe, which like is so stupid. But I remember like crying to my mom, being like, "Mommy, I forgot how to breathe," but I didn't forget how to breathe. Like, really, who was I?
I once like was 10 and I was like eating cereal and I literally forgot how to like hold a spoon. I was like, "Mom, I literally can't. Like, I don't know how to do this." And she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I don't know." And like, I was freaking out. I'm like, "What's wrong?" Like, literally, like my last brain cell just like disappeared in that moment.
Kids are so dumb. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's fine. We turned out all right. Yeah. Okay. Next one. What's next?
Okay. So you watched Fred on YouTube as a kid, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. I think I know where you're going with this.
So Fred, if you don't know, if you're like older, I don't know. I remember my friend, when I was living in Branson, Missouri, he showed him to me, and Fred would do these funny videos and this high-pitched scream. A lot of people either found him annoying and hated him, or they loved him. I loved him. I had a t-shirt and everything. He was so funny to me. I would crack up at his videos. It was like at the start of YouTube. And but then Fred's career kind of like started going south, I think. And he started doing like different ideas. And he did this one like series, I guess, for Fred with this guy named Claudio.
I literally hated Claudio.
He made me so, like, he scared me. He'd like it was literally just the guy who, Lucas Cruikshank, he literally just dressed up in this like weird black bob wig and like drew this little like weird mustache, and he was like, "Hi, little boy." Da, 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 da. And then he literally like comes into Fred's house, locks him in a like dog cage.
Oh
And
God.
he's like, well, I don't know. He's just really weird. He's like, you're never gonna leave or something. And it was so weird. And I just remember watching this being like, I'm really scared. Like, this is actually scaring me. And then like Fred's mom comes in. She's like, Fred, what are you doing? And she like beats Claudio up. But then like she lets him stay as a roommate because he like will pay rent or something. And so then there's like 3 other episodes. I watched all of them. And they were really funny. Like I remember laughing at them, but I also was like very put off by them and
It was
very
so unsettling.
yeah, it was extremely unsettling. And I remember later on in life, like I don't know if he was like doing an interview or something, but Lucas Cruikshank like mentioned it, and he was like, "Yeah, I remember like I started doing like some videos, and kids like started commenting like I'm scared." Like I was just like, he's like, "Yeah, I just kind of lost my mind." I was like, "Okay, that explains it."
He talked about it on the Shane and Friends podcast back in the day,
Oh,
and
okay.
like because Shane asked him about it, and he was like, so like. What was up with Claudio? And this was at the time when Lucas Cruikshank was, if you don't know, Lucas Cruikshank is Fred. It's the guy who plays Fred. Is when he started getting involved with Nickelodeon more, which those movies were whack, like they were weird. But and then Nickelodeon literally told him, they were like, you need to like cut back on the Claudio because like that's like not okay. And he was like, and so that was the death of Claudio. But yeah, I remember that and being like, that's strange.
It was so scary. I hated it. Okay, what about you?
Next one. Okay, this isn't really like something I watched as a kid, but more so something that happened to me a lot when I was a kid. And so both of my parents are super into like true crime and stuff. Like my dad is like a criminal justice major. Like my mom is just interested by it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they used to stay up like in like the living room. They would just fall asleep in the living room watching the ID channel, like the Investigation Discovery.
Yes.
And so there's this like there's like the little like ding dong, like it's like a creepy little like chime that they do like right before they like give a promo for like a new show or something. Mm-hmm. And so I remember being a kid and they would leave the TV on like loud and they would just fall asleep, and so it would stay on like throughout the night like by accident. And I remember being a little kid and hearing that like in my bedroom, like in my dark bedroom as a little kid, being like, oh my God, like someone's coming for me. And then like as I got older, like obviously it didn't matter to me, but like then like at night when I would go and like get water from the kitchen or something, like I would hear like it would be like teen like murders family ding dong, and I would just be like, I can't do this, like I can't. And one time my dad actually heard me get up and he thought something was wrong, and he walked into the kitchen, but I didn't hear him, and I turned around and I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, like oh. Like I remember, like that happened a lot as a kid, and that I like obviously like it wasn't like that scary, but like I just remember that so vividly.
No, like going off of that, so I would sometimes like stay up really late, like just watching TV. Like I did not. Looking back, like I definitely did not like ever go to sleep as a kid. Still don't. Yeah. I'm probably gonna die by the time I'm like 50 from lack of sleep. Anyway, I remember like. It would be like in the middle of the night and I'm just like watching TV in my bed or something. And then like the like emergency broadcast testing system would go off and be like,
oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
yes.
Well, like it would scare me to death because it was so loud and the screen just turns black. Like it literally, like you're just watching TV and it just cuts out. I'm literally watching like Disney Channel and it just like cuts out and turns black and it's like, this is like emergency. And I'm like, I'm scared. Like I'm about to die.
No, that happened
out as a kid.
That happened like this past summer, or no, it was like 2 summers ago. But I just had a sleepover with like my friends, and like then we were all just making our bagels in the morning, you know, having a good time. The TV's on, like with some stupid show on, like Good Morning America or something, and the emergency broadcast system happens, and we're all just like, oh my God, like it's the purge, like this is it. Like, and it was obviously
it freaks me out still. Like I don't like it.
Yeah, I watched a video about the emergency broadcast system once, and just like the sound of it, just like folks like panicking you. And I guess that's obviously the point, but like still, like if there's ever an actual like nationwide emergency, like honestly, whatever is happening cannot be worse than that brr, brr sound. So bad.
Yes. Okay. So my next one, you know, this one that I actually just thought of while we were talking about things. So I know you've seen this video. When I was like 12, maybe, this kid showed me, or maybe he didn't show me, or I found it. I don't know. We watched the video from Vsauce about like the uncanny valley.
Yes, I was thinking about this too.
And like, he's like, what makes things creepy? And he literally would like show these photos and like these videos of really unsettling things, like like uncanny valley. Which, if you don't know what the uncanny valley is, Mia, you do a better job explaining.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, so there's a point in things that like. It's like a curve. And the reason it's called the uncanny valley is because the curve, like it's an upward like slope. And it's like the more realistic something gets, there's a point where it gets so realistic that but it's still so like not human, where it like just dips down like all the way to the bottom, where it's like it's called, that's why it's called the uncanny valley, because it just evokes like a weird like unfamiliar like, well, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's like basically it freaks people out. And like, but then it goes back up, and it's like the more realistic it gets again, it's like at some point it just looks human. But that's why like cartoon, like they use it like to talk about like cartoons and like mannequins and stuff, like a lot of, like, have you ever seen the I Feel Fantastic videos?
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh,
that was included in the video, and that was the one that like freaked me out. Literally, it's this like weird mannequin dressed up, and she's like, I feel fantastic, or whatever. I don't know how she does. I refuse to ever watch the video.
I'm gonna leave the description to that video because I think people need like a visualization of what it means, because it almost looks human, but it doesn't. And that's why people hate masks, because it's like the ambiguity of it, where it, like it like, you know, it's a person, but like you can't see who they are, and like it's a whole like science.
And I Feel Fantastic, though, doesn't it? Like, it like goes from her like singing, and then it's literally just like a shot of a backyard with like just silent.
Yeah, there's like a whole
in the background, and like there's nothing going on.
Yeah, and there's like a whole internet creepypasta about it. I think
it freaked me out so much. I hated it. I hate that video. I refuse to watch it. I sometimes think about, like, literally right now I'm like looking behind me because I'm like kind of freaking out.
Yeah,
like it still scars me. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Like, I'm not living with anyone right now, and like sometimes like I like steer away from like creepy videos or like creepy movies, because it's just like I'm in a dorm by myself, like, and apparently the room next to us is haunted. I just found that out, and that makes perfect sense now, because I hear like banging inside the walls all the time. I'm not scared though. Those ghosts can come at me. You hear me, everyone? There. I'm not scared of you. I am scared of them.
I hate that video. You need obviously not on the podcast, but remind me, I need to hear the story as to why you're alone. Also, you're lucky.
Yeah, I will tell you the story. It's really anticlimactic. Let's move on. Let's do another one. This one I feel like you'll definitely relate with. Have you seen the Pee Wee Herman Big Adventure movie?
No.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that makes it
I know what it is.
Okay, so basically Pee Wee Herman's like traveling across the country to like find his bike, which like who cares about a bike that much, but he's like in love with his bike. So he's traveling across like everywhere, and he hitchhikes at some point. And this truck driver, like this old lady truck driver, picks him up, and she's like telling him the story, and she's like, blah, 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 like a huge accident. And I looked at them like this, and it's like a jump scare, and her eyes like pop out of her head. Her mouth like pops forward, and it scared me so bad as a kid. Like, cause it's like the whole time the movie is like so fun and like adventurous and funny. And then you get that random scene, and it literally, I remember crying after watching that, because it startled me so bad. It just literally comes out of nowhere. And then he, like, the truck driver drops him off, and then he goes into like this like bar, I guess, and he's like talking to all the people, and he's like, yeah, like this like lady like dropped me off, and they were like, what was her name? And he's like, it was Marge, I think it was, something like that. And they were like, she died. And then the camera pans over, and it's like this memorial of this woman, and it shook me when I was a kid, like. And it's just, it literally is so out of nowhere. Like, I don't know why they thought that was okay to put in the movie, but I was watching it in my grandparents' living room, just by myself, because I was like, oh, this movie's fun, and that happened, and I was like, haha, that's funny. They really got me.
I think sometimes directors are just like, let's see how much we can like mess up kids' minds.
Yeah, seriously. They're like, how far can we push it? Okay, you hit me with one.
Okay, so this one, it's not scary. Like, it didn't scare me, but it made me really, really upset. Like, extremely upset. So have you ever played Sonic like Adventure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, yes.
So you know the little like chows or whatever? The little like things you can take care of in the garden?
Yeah, yeah.
The little like blue guys with little like pointy heads. So we had this game called Sonic Adventure 2, and I love that game. Like we would play it, me and my brother would play it all the time. Mostly I would play it and then just kind of walk around because I wasn't good, obviously. I still play it sometimes. And I would love to take care of the chows because obviously like that's like something I could actually do in the game that wasn't hard. And you could get all different kinds. Like you could buy different like types of eggs to get different colors or different shapes. And you could like, if you pet it with a hero, then it'll become an angel. And then like this heaven chow world opens up. And then if you pet it, if with an evil character, it like becomes a demon chow. And like you, like there's a hell chow world or whatever. Very weird, but I loved it. And, but you can also like release the chows or whatever. I hope I'm saying that word right. And you can release them. And basically what it does, it like comes to the screen and it goes, "Are you sure you want to let this chow go? He'll go on the road all by himself," and blah, blah. Like this super sad description. It's playing this super, super sad music, like so depressing. And then it shows a little chow with like a little hobo stick and like thing. And he's just like crying, looking back at you. And I remember my brother was doing it to one of them because it was like ugly or something. And I was like, "No, don't do it." And like I was really upset. And then like he did it. And I literally like cried, like bawled my eyes out the rest of the day. And like I remember like I was about to go take a bath or something. And like I just like start screaming and crying. And he comes in, he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm still so upset that you let go of that chow or whatever."
Oh my God.
And like he was babysitting. He was probably like, "This kid's so annoying." But like I was so upset by it. So that wasn't scary, but it did like traumatize me because it was so sad.
No, that was like in Nintendogs, I would get sad whenever like I wouldn't play it for a few months, and then like they would come back and they would be like parched and hungry and they looked so sad. And I was like, "Oh my God, my puppies, I'm so sorry." Oh, yeah, that is sad. Yeah, no, but like this is actually like messing me up a little bit last night. This like kind of relates, but it's like that like I saw it and it was like one time like you logged off of your favorite game and like you just never went back. Like you logged off for the last time and you didn't even know it. And I was like, "Oh my God, my Nintendogs, they're dying right now."
Yeah, like Webkins. Oh.
Yeah. Or like in Club Penguin, like if you didn't take care of your puffles, they would send you a postcard and leave.
What? I don't even remember that.
It would be like, "Rex has returned to the wild." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'll go get another one, I guess." Replaceable. He was replaceable anyway.
I think I had a blue puffle. I only had one.
Oh, I had a membership. You know, I had all the puffles.
Oh yeah, I had a membership too, but I don't think I like spent my money on them.
No, that was the greatest
money on all clothes.
My parents.
I would just like literally go around the game like trying to find a girlfriend. Like I would just talk to people and like we would sit at the pizza place and be like, "Hey."
Oh my God. No, I go on Club Penguin Rewritten nowadays, and sometimes in class I'll go on it, and I'll be like, "Anyone here a college student avoiding their responsibilities?" And then some people will be like, "Oh yeah."
I love that.
It's so funny. Okay, I guess the next one. Oh yes, this is a good one. Okay, so Monsters Inc. Like everyone loves Monsters Inc. If you don't like Monsters Inc., don't talk to me.
I think I know what you're talking about. I love that movie.
Yeah. The scene where Randall they're in the basement and they're about to like they suck the soul out of his little henchman.
Yes.
Like
yes.
And then like
I forgot about that.
Everyone compares him to the one James Charles picture where he's like his face is like super pale and it's so funny. But I didn't even remember like how much that scene like was like scary to me until I asked my dad. And he was like, "I think there was a scene in Monsters Inc. that really scared you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know exactly which one you're talking about." Because it's like they're literally harvesting screams, and they were gonna do that on children, on human children. Like they suck the soul out of these kids.
He like turns all pale and his lips super pink. That did freak me out. I forgot about that.
And like, especially because he's like struggling against it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like if I were in that position, like I'd be freaking out. Like they were gonna do that to little Boo. How could you do that to like someone as cute as Boo? She's the most adorable character.
That movie is so sad. I want to cry now.
I wish they would like go back and like. There's a theory actually that Bonnie in Toy Story 3 is Boo's daughter. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, I have not seen that.
Yeah,
is that like part of the Pixar theory?
I think so, but I think the Pixar theory also like got kind of messed up with all like the newer movies. But back in the day, like they thought that Bonnie was Boo's daughter, which like I mean I can buy it. Like I'll pretend.
I'll pretend, yeah.
It makes it better.
Part of me like would want something, but first of all, we got like Monsters University, which is like apparently trash. I didn't even watch it. I still have a hat though from Disney World. But yeah, I don't know. We have that on our list of ideas about talking about like how nothing's original nowadays because everything's either a reboot or a sequel. Yeah. So topic for another day.
Yeah, we'll save it for another show. But wait, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Monsters University was like okay, but like there was a continuity error that really bothered me because in the first movie, they talk about like remember back in second grade like Sully and Mike. But then in Monsters University, they meet in college, and I'm like, how did they mess up that bad? Like, you literally have some of the best like creators in the world working for Pixar, and they like
yeah,
it should have been them going to college together and then like growing apart, but then growing back together. That's what I would have done. But
yeah, I hate when movies do that. Mamma Mia 2 did that.
Oh really? I haven't seen it, so.
Well, like you know how like her grandma comes, like in the first one they talk about how Meryl Streep's mom is dead. But then, like, her grandma comes, and it's Cher.
Yeah, that's so annoying. Oh, but, like, Cher, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's alternate reality, alternate universe theory.
Honestly, with that movie, that would make sense. Okay, so my next one is, okay, so Boy Meets World. This one's, like, very, like, vague in my memory, but I remember it. There was a Halloween episode that I saw years and years later, and I was like, but there was a Halloween episode, so it was meant to be a little scary. But as a kid watching it, it was like a Scream parody, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was like this guy, I think, in this like skeleton mask, like killing everyone in the Boy Meets World show. And I remember like Mr. Feeney, was that his name? He like gets stabbed with these scissors in the back and he just falls over. And I was like,
oh my God.
And then at the end, like they think they find, I think they thought it was like Sean or something who was doing it. I don't know. And they like find it. And then like the guy in the mask like turns the corner in the library. And it freaked me out as a kid. I remember sleeping with my parents that night and like having a nightmare about it. I didn't cry or anything, but it did like freak me out.
Yeah.
And I still remember it to say like how scared it made me.
Yeah. Speaking of Scream though, my acting teacher right now, he was actually in Scream 4. We like found his IMDb page. That's and we were cool. like, John, like, were you in Scream 4? And he was like, oh yeah, like I was the teacher in Scream 4. And we were like, whoa. So we want to have cool. like a viewing party of it now. Like Mr. Baker, if you've seen Scream 4, I haven't, but I just thought that's so funny.
I love that.
This next one, this actually would be like kind of scary, like this still kind of freaks me out, but in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, I watched that movie for the first time when I was like, I literally had to be like 3 or 4. Like my nanny had it taped on like a VHS tape. Mm-hmm. And like it's actually funny because she started recording it probably like 5 minutes after it actually started. So like I have no idea what happens in the actual first 5 minutes of the movie. It just starts in my brain like Harry's walking down the hallway to the kitchen. And that's that's the beginning for me. But at the end, whenever the professor with like the turban, mm-hmm. He raps. Quirrell. Professor Quirrell, he unwraps the turban like so slowly and ominously, and we know he's a bad guy at this point, and then it's like Voldemort like merged onto the back of his head. Like that really freaked me out, especially because like, and like back to the Uncanny Valley, it was like back in the day when like visual effects like weren't that great yet, because like when did that movie come out? Like 2001, something like that.
Yeah, 2001.
But yeah, so like the effects like are horrible, but it just makes it like worse. It makes it like if they had made it today, it probably wouldn't have been like as disturbing, but it really freaked me out. And I remember hiding curled up on like the corner of the couch and like closing my eyes during that part. Like when I was little, like one of the first. No, it wasn't even the first time I saw it. Like I knew it was coming, and I was like shielding my eyes from it.
Yeah, I remember that like freaking me out a little bit, but it didn't traumatize me. The third one though did traumatize me. Have you seen the third Harry Potter?
Third one's my
when
favorite.
He turns into the werewolf. Oh yeah, third one's definitely one of the best ones. But like when he turned into the werewolf, and he's like not like your typical hairy werewolf. He's like all like naked almost. And it scared me. Like I had to, like I was like crying. I had to sleep with my grandparents that night. And like my grandma was like trying to explain it to me, and I was like, no, it scares me and all this stuff. So I mean, I was pretty young. So
no, for me, I don't think what he transforms into is actually the scariest part. I think it's whenever his face, when he's looking up at the moon, he's making that horrible noise, and Sirius is like hugging him, and like that really is like that still is like weird to me because it's just like so like it just the light leaves his eyes, and then he's like he doesn't even know who he is anymore. Like that's just like a scary thought to me like now.
Yeah. I remember going to some movie, and it was like I remember my parents being like, we were sitting at like Olive Garden or something, and they were like, hey, would you be okay if we went to this movie? Like, would you get scared? It has like vampires and all stuff in it. And I was like, oh yeah, like I'll be fine. Like I was trying to be all cool. Literally like 5 minutes into a movie, my dad had to take me out of the theater. I think he was really annoyed because I was like, I got scared, which, okay, in my defense, like it was a movie for like older people. So I think
What movie was it? Do you remember?
Was it like Van Helsing or something?
It was Twilight. Vampire.
Twilight. No.
You saw Edward Cullen and ran.
I think it was like Van Helsing or I don't know, it's something about a vampire hunter, and it freaked me out. And then, but now looking back, I'm like, I mean, why would they take me there? Like I was so young. Like, it's your fault. Okay, so my next one is, how much time do we have? Okay.
We've got a solid 15.
How many more do you think we could do each?
Ooh, I don't know. Just go with it. We'll get there.
So do you remember this show it was a Nickelodeon show called Cat Scratch? It had a black cat, a gray cat, and like this fat white and orange cat. I
don't think so. The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever watched it.
Okay. Well, it was a show I watched. It was like, I don't know, it didn't like, I don't hear many people talk about it. Sometimes I do. Mm-hmm. But I remember there was this episode, and they like were taking care of a bunny or something, and the bunny was all like shaved and like looked really scary. Like it was just really freaky to me. I don't know why. And I remember like literally because of that bunny. Okay, I used to take these things that I would call bath hours. And so like I wouldn't take a shower, but I wouldn't take a bath either. What I would do is just like let the little faucet run, and I would use it because like at that point, for some reason, something about the shower like triggered me. Like I remember going to go take a bath or like shower, and it like freaked me out, like the noise or something, because like I was like so scared by this bunny thing. I was like scared it was like gonna come in to the bathroom, like come into the shower or something. And so obviously like you can't take a shower with the curtain open. So maybe that was it. Maybe like maybe I decided to like keep the curtain open. And so then I could just like take a bath. And I would literally remember in third grade, like a teacher asking like, hey, who's in here still takes baths? I was the only one who raised my hand. But looking back, and they were all, and then some smart aleck kid goes, actually, baths are dirty. Like, and I'm like, okay, I don't take a bath. Like, I take a bath hour. Thank you very much. But no,
it sounds like you're saying bashower with a lisp, bathower.
Yes, but it like freaked me out for years. Like literally, I don't think I started taking showers until I moved to Pittsburgh in fifth grade. Like actual showers, and like it would hurt my back because I would like obviously getting taller, and I was like bending down. And so I finally learned how to take.
Wait, I did watch this show.
Okay,
I had a plush animal of the white and orange one, but I don't really remember.
So do I. It's from like McDonald's.
It was from McDonald's. That's where it was from. No, I'm looking at a picture of the bunny right now, though. And that is kind of weird.
Wait, I haven't seen it in years. I'm like,
is it like I'm looking, and it is. It looks like it's like a puppet almost, which kind of segues into what
did you search up?
I just searched cat scratched big-eyed bunny because it said that's what the episode name was. It's like the first one. That's creepy. Ugh.
Oh no, that's not it.
Oh no, I was because that's kind of weird. But
I think it was about the big-eyed bunny, and then it like turned all. Oh yes, okay. Go down a little bit, and it's it's like right beside. Are you on Google Images?
Yeah.
It's like the one where he's all like skinny. Oh wow, I haven't seen this since I literally watched it on TV.
Is it freaking you out? Are you okay?
No, I'm good. I just probably won't take a shower for the next like 5 years. It's fine.
Take a shower instead.
Yeah. No, I had like a toy from McDonald's from all three of them.
Oh,
I remember
that's
the gray one like did a little arm fart thing, but yeah, it freaked me out for years. Literally like traumatized me for years, and I couldn't take an actual shower. And I would be like, yeah, my ears are sensitive. But it was really just like I didn't want to be.
I see the picture. Oh gosh, that is.
Yeah.
Mr. Fuzzy Pants is his name.
Yes. It freaked me out.
Horrible. Well, like I said a second ago, the thing I said puppets. That's what I'm about to talk about because I realized when I'm looking at my list, a lot of these have to do with like puppetry. And I guess that really just freaked me out when I was little because I have Night of the Living Dummy on here, the Goosebumps episode and book. I read both for some reason because I guess I just hated myself. But I've always had a weird thing with like puppets, but I also am like really drawn to like shows with like puppetry in it. Like Night of the Living Dummy scared me. Like it literally like I feel like it like scarred me like for life a little bit because like I still think of that story and I'm like, I hate that. What if my like pillow comes alive and like kills my family? Like weird. But I also have on here The Dark Crystal, and it was a show on HBO called Crashbox. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, well basically Crashbox was like I wouldn't even say it's puppetry. It was like more like it was like a bunch of different art styles, but it wasn't the show itself that freaked me out. It was the characters in it. And like, it was just very, very odd in some segments. Like it was all different, like brain teaser games. Like you had to figure out a bunch of stuff, but it was a fun show to watch. But like, I just remember being very, creeped out by some of the art styles that they used in the show. But I think I just have a thing with like puppets where I just like think it's like, I don't know. It's like I think it just comes back to Uncanny Valley where it looks like a person, but it isn't. Because like have you ever seen The Dark Crystal? It's a Jim Henson.
I actually haven't. I know what it is, but
but like the people in that look so weird, and like I'm oddly drawn to it for some reason because like it's just like so weird to watch. But like it did freak me out when I was a kid. And there's this one TV show that I always got at the library. I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea what it's called, but I know it was puppeteering. And like I remember watching it because it like freaked me out in a weird way. So I don't know what I was on when I was a kid, but I don't know. It was like it's almost like true crime now. It's like it's scary, but like it's interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would always do that as a kid. Like I hated like scary things, but I would also love it. I remember you said the library thing that just like triggered something in me. I remember like going to a library and getting like little mini audio books. And I remember listening to one night and like it was some dragon or something. It made a really weird noise and it freaked me out as a kid. I don't know why. I don't remember much about it other than just laying there and like hearing that, and it scared me.
Another thing about the library, actually, I remember in 4th grade, this is when I really started like obsessing over like scary movies and stuff. Not scary movies, but like I was like weirdly drawn to like scary stories and stuff. And I took out all of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. Yeah, did you ever read those as a kid?
Nope. Even just like the covers would scare me.
The pictures are so scary. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because Guillermo del Toro is actually making it into a film. He's taking the stories. I think it would have been better done. I would have think it would be better done if it were like a Netflix series where each story was an episode. But like I'm so excited to see it because I loved those books when I was a kid, even though they like really freaked me out. Like the stories themselves are scary, but like I was a 4th grader and I could take it, but.
No, like in 5th grade, I remember for Halloween, like my teacher read a few and like they freaked me out. I was like, I don't want her to tell these. Like, I'm actually scared. Like, I hated it so much.
Yeah, it was more the pictures that freaked me out along stories. Like, if they had just been stories without the pictures, I wouldn't have been as scared. But the pictures are just very, they're like sketches almost. So, like, they're just very.
Yes. I know, literally, I have on here is like some book that I bought at a book fair, and the cover freaked me out so much I refused to read it.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so let's see, like one more each.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do a few like honorable mentions real quick. Courage and Cowardly Dog, duh.
Oh yeah, obvious. I didn't even put that on my list because like that scared everyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For some reason though, like out of all the scary stuff in that show, Miriam becoming like a demon, she like had green skin and red hair, like that freaked me out. And I don't know why that one specifically did. And then also like, did you ever read the Weenies books?
No.
Okay, it like has like hot dogs on the cover, and like I thought it was like gonna be a funny story. No, it's literally like scary stories, and I remember specific stories that like still like freak, like some kid getting eaten by a maggots or something. They were scary. I didn't realize it, but I read like at least 2 or 3. Okay, so for my last one, this is a reoccurring nightmare that I used to have, but it does have to do with media and childhood trauma still. So reoccurring nightmare I would have is in my room by my window there would be this like weird ghost lady, and she was just like a figure, but like she didn't have any clothes on, but it wasn't anything like inappropriate. It was just like a figure, and it was like this bluish white, and she had this long hair. You couldn't really see her face, it was covered. And then there was like a skeleton in my closet. And then there, I think I've told you this before, honestly. And then there was, okay, this is where like the media comes in. Mole from Atlantis.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Neither have I, but I remember the character, and I had a toy of him, but he freaked me out. And so I remember him being like beside my bed, and then right on my bed was against the wall, and against my wall, this is like probably like kind of traumatizing. My brother would be there, like not like actually, but like I would have a nightmare that my brother was right there, and he was like wearing this weird giant red crown, and he was like kind of the ruler of all these monsters in my room.
Oh gosh.
And I don't know why, but it like freaked me out. Like I would have that nightmare like a lot, and like I still remember like I had to have only been like 3 or 4, but I remember it. And like I don't really remember telling my parents about it, so I'm like, I know like it had to have been real, because like the fact that I still remember, like there's no way I could have just like made that up.
Yeah, no. That's like the kind of stuff that sticks with you.
Yeah, and like I can literally still picture like all of it except the skeleton in my closet. Honestly, that one may be something that I have made up, but the other 3, like I know for sure were there. And like I don't know, what about Mole from Atlantis like freaked me out. I think this is eyes.
Yeah.
But then also my brother. I mean, like I always loved hanging out with my brother when I was little, so I don't know. But like he was also kind of like mean to me, only because he was like annoyed, like a little 5-year-old or 3-year-old like wanted to hang out with him, and he was like,
oh yeah,
becoming a teenager. But yeah, so that was like my last one, that was like a reoccurring nightmare I would have all the time.
Wow. Yeah, I had a reoccurring nightmare as a kid that like is way less interesting than that, but it didn't really have to do with anything, so I'm gonna leave it for a different day. But yeah, I have a couple honorable mentions too. The scene in Roger Rabbit where the guy, like his voice changes and then he gets like flattened by like the truck thing, like that freaked me out when I was a kid. But I feel like that freaked out like everyone, because his eyes also pop out of his head. I don't know what it is with people thinking that putting people in kids movies where their eyes pop out of their head, like no one wants to see that. That's weird. But that really scared me. And then Jaws. I remember the first time I saw Jaws, I was afraid I was going to get eaten by a shark, even though I didn't live near an ocean. And then I think it was something in Wizard of Oz that freaked me out. I just don't remember what it is. I think it was the trees coming to life and throwing apples at them. Just something about that was like, like that movie freaked out Evan, my brother.
Carly the cock.
Oh
Carly,
God.
if you're listening to this.
I mean, they did it again like this past year, and the dog pooped on the stage. So.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah. Yes, in our middle school, so we did Wizard of Oz my 7th grade year, and then our middle school like did it again like 2 years ago or last year. Yeah, and literally the dog, like they used a real dog. They used a real dog in our show too, but it was like everyone loved it. Like it was a good dog, really well trained, and then like this dog literally poops on stage during the school performance, right?
Yeah, the middle schoolers like lost it. I would have been like, I would have been petrified if I were Dorothy on stage. But and then is there anything else? I don't know. And then the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka that scared everyone though. But my main one
freaked me out actually.
My main one is about E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I love that movie. I have really great memories. I have great memories associated with E.T. except for these ones I'm about to tell you about. So the scene whenever E.T. is like in the creek and he's all white and like the raccoons are like all around him and the brother has to go like save him, like that was weird for me because I was like, I love E.T. like he's dying, like that. And then the scene where he goes into like, would you call it like cardiac arrest? Like he's an alien. I don't know. He dies basically. And all the doctors are like, giving him CPR and like, there's just these horrible noises and then they like electrocute him. And then I remember little, Gertie is like crying in it and she's like jumping like with like the sounds of like that they're making and like that just like, I think it's just because I could relate with Gertie because we were both little kids and like I was like, oh my God, like I was like, E.T.'s gonna die, like I can't do this. And then it was just like all this imagery that was just not good for me. But there's more to this story because as much as I hated those parts of the movies, I loved the rest of it. Like I still love the movie to this day. My parents got me an E.T. doll for Christmas one year. And it talked in E.T.'s little creepy. I remember jumping up onto the couch, being so afraid whenever it started talking. I literally ran to my room. My parents were probably both like, oh my God, like we just messed her up. Like, but yeah, I mean, I think it's still at my house if I think about it. Like I never got rid of it, but that was that's my story with
That's
E.T.
so funny. I haven't seen that movie in so long, so I don't know what any of the scenes you're talking about. I honestly don't even know if I've seen it the whole way through. But I can see how in talking E.T. doll. I actually just saw like an E.T. collector's item doll at Target the other day. I should have bought it for you.
Oh, that would have been so nice. You could have scared me now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think we pretty much touched on everything, but like now that I'm thinking about it, like there's probably so many things like just buried in like my subconscious memory.
We could do like a whole nother episode on this.
Yeah, no, I was watching a YouTuber who did this on his channel, and he talked about all these TV shows and movies that scared him as a kid, and that's like kind of what got my mind brewing about it. And then I was like, that would make a really good podcast episode, and we just did it. And I feel good because my demons I'm no longer afraid of them because we've addressed them.
Oh, I am.
You're still afraid of people in gorilla suits. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, do not come for me with a gorilla suit. I can't handle it. Yeah, that was. I think that went really well.
Yeah, that was great. I
really enjoyed that.
It's all off my chest now.
Okay.
Now I'm probably gonna go watch like a serial killer documentary because apparently I haven't learned.
Yeah, that's me too. I love scaring myself. I also hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. This was Whack with Patrick and Mia. Yes. And you can follow us on YouTube. Literally just type in Whack ! With Patrick and Mia. And you can listen to our first episode there. We talked about being creative and just going for it. And then we have this episode. And just stay tuned for more episodes. We're going to post them every Friday at 8/7 Central. And you can also follow us on Instagram to like keep up with the episodes and like what we're going to be doing. My Instagram's pglover2447.
And my Instagram is sonicmia21. Thank you everyone so much for listening, and leave us a comment on whatever you're on and tell us what traumatized you as a child that was in a movie.
That's such a good idea. Yes.
Yeah, I want to hear what scared other people because like I love talking about it like myself, but like I also love hearing about it from other people. So if you had something that really messed you up as a kid that was in a movie that wasn't really supposed to be scary, please let us know. And thank you all for listening.